2, 2, 2.
That was loud. We're recording.
Welcome to a Leftovers podcast regarding American Nightmare.
On Netflix.
So we all watched it. We want to talk about it because
This is big spoilers.
Yes, I mean, if you are listening to this and you have not watched it and you don't want it to be spoiled for you, this is the wrong podcast for you, folks.
Just save it for later. Watch it and then come back.
We be spoiling, Mom.
Yep. All right, so we all watched it, and I think we all probably in episode 1 went through some emotions, like this guy's weird.
The husband.
He's
the guy.
He seems oddly calm.
Yeah, he has a weird breakup with his last.
He's still hung up on the last girlfriend,
on her, and he's doing something to like get her attention or something. That's what I was thinking.
But I also believed him when he said they were like kept asking why he didn't notify them when his girlfriend was kidnapped right away. Well, he was knocked out first of all, right?
Well, let me just say that the way they rolled this entire documentary out was perfect.
Yes.
The first episode, you're just
guilty.
like, well, he's so full of baloney. Mm-hmm. It's insane. He done did it.
Yeah.
For sure. It's crazy.
What are these other two parts even about?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly. It's that's how I felt. And I was just like, of course he did it. And then by the end of that episode, beginning of the second episode, you're like, oh, well, she did this.
Yeah, she planned this whole thing.
She done did it.
Look at her just nonchalantly walking into her old house.
Yes.
In her old neighborhood. Why would they drop her off there? That doesn't make any sense.
The first one, you're wondering if she's alive because she doesn't
Right.
show up, right? I mean, you're for a while there.
And they're talking to her family, and they're like, we don't know this guy.
Yeah.
We've never met this guy.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Do you guys remember this news story? Did this
Not at all.
No, even after watching the doc, I was like, this doesn't really ring any bells.
You remember it.
I do, because I remember the whole real life Gone Girl thing. I remember about it was whatever it was, about a year after the movie. I remember that headline, and that's kind of it. It was like this. That's where my knowledge of it ended. So even when I put together that that's what this was, which was more in the second episode, I was like, oh, she did it. You go, like Chris said, from he did it to she did it. But then that whole third episode is all the stuff that like people don't know about.
And how awesome was the
detective?
That woman.
She is.
I mean, she needs to get all the awards. She needs to have $1 million. Like people that do that for other people, and like, she was motivated by her. I guess her friend had been assaulted, or somebody in her family had been assaulted, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to solve these problems for people.
I'm going to become a police officer.
Yeah, and I'm going to make sure that like people pay for this." And she did it in like a huge case.
She worked on it instead of doing lazy police work where they had already thought he was guilty. Yeah. Then they thought she was guilty. Denise, by the way, also a hero.
Yeah, the detective and then Denise.
For how strong she was through. Can you imagine somebody saying, out in the press, the police are saying terrible things about you after you've been kidnapped.
Taxpayers' money, blah, 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 blah.
All right, so some of the questions I have. When this kidnapping first took place, did the boyfriend say, I got to get his name. I don't have his name in front of me. I know her name is Denise. Did he say they took his car?
Yes, they did.
They did.
And he had so many details that you were like, these are weird details. You heard your car like pull out of the driveway, but the guy took his Toyota and put her in the trunk.
Her. All right.
I don't remember that.
So after he goes to the police, she's still missing. You're telling me they did no work at all looking into this?
They were convinced that.
So they didn't even go back to the house to like those video cameras?
Well, they never gave us clarification on that.
Yeah, you're right.
One of the reasons he told that he did not, run after her, he did not call the police immediately.
They were watching
because there was a video camera that he was in his in the home that he could see. They never told us if that was fake, if that camera actually went to the guy. We never got clarification on what was going on with that camera.
And I don't remember the clarification. When he tells a story, it sounds like there's multiple people.
Yeah. Yes, that's another thing.
Because the guy is saying we're all wearing wetsuits, and was talking about it like that. And then I think he brought in like those dummies, maybe. You know, because he had like dummies.
Oh my god, I didn't think about
With
that.
I
like a
didn't either.
Oh yeah. He had. Remember like the dummies with like a mask on it, intending to like look like it's.
I didn't make that connection. I was
Yeah.
like, what is he doing with the dummies?
I mean, I don't know if he brought them in, but he definitely
he's got his
referred.
hand behind one of them, like, yeah, we're gonna get you.
Yeah, we got
But
this.
my question is this: I know that we all watch too much TV, and all you have to do is put.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, I know. It's just me. Like the things that he did, like putting in information about what happened to them in the story they told. There were other cases out there where this same kind of MO was in the state of California
Like where it
was
would-
happening.
Cross-referencing.
Yes, the drug, they had to drink something,
Right.
the tasers or whatever that was. It was all the same.
And another thing that was believable, or that seemed implausible, was he knew the name of. He was like, "Yeah, he gave me diazepam and something else," and I was like,
Yeah,
if
how
somebody
did he
drugged
know
me,
that?
I wouldn't have any idea what they gave me."
Yeah, but then and later he told him, like, I'm giving you this.
Right,
This
yeah,
is what it's for.
right.
Aaron is the boyfriend's.
Thank you. Thank you. So as this is unfolding, you go through all the emotions, and then you're looking at these. At the end, you find out what's happened to all the people. All the people. So she and Aaron have gotten married. They have kids.
Yeah.
But the
They
police
sued.
wouldn't.
They got a lot of money too.
They didn't get enough.
Well, they
Get it.
settled.
Yeah, they got like 2.4 million or
Yes.
something.
$2.5 million.
No, it wasn't enough.
They ruined their lives.
And like one of those cops got to be like the cop of the year.
Yeah, that mustard fella, I believe.
Matt Mustard.
Yeah. And what about the other guy? Okay.
Pretty sure it's
FBI
Colonel.
guy.
Pretty
We
sure it's
haven't-
Colonel Mustard.
We haven't even gotten to when that guy, when he goes to kidnap, he thinks it's his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, and there's never a.
What is that about?
Not his own
explanation.
ex-girlfriend, Aaron. So
Aaron's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, and he's like, I thought you were supposed to be the other one, whatever her name was.
Andrea.
Claudia. Andrea.
Who has ties, by the way, to the
FBI guy.
FBI.
And they say at the end of the documentary, they're like, we never found out, no one ever found out why he was originally going for her, or at least that he put that up. I mean, let's face it, this guy's creating a lot of kind of theater of the mind with the blindfolds. He's leading them to believe there's more people. He's leading them to believe there's associates. And when none of that turned out to be true, so this could have also just been some strange diversion. Even when he's like, hey, there's two things you can't tell people no matter what. Like, it was all this very weird things he was creating.
And
so
remember,
that could have been made
remember
up too.
when she was in the house and she's like at the blindfold on and she hears a car pull up and there's like a discussion. She's like, there's a heated argument.
Yeah,
What
who
the
was
hell
that?
was he doing? Was he just out there talking to himself?
He might have been.
I guess he was.
Yeah. Or other people do know that never got busted.
That's, I mean,
Yeah, like because he did make it sound like he was he like had other military people involved.
Yeah.
They're not as nice as him. Like, but how strange is that guy? Like
The one that did the kidnapping?
Yes.
Who didn't rape a few women
Yeah.
because of what they said to him.
Yeah.
or he got upset because they had the story wrong and he's like, that's not what happened. And
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
emailed
email-
news organizations.
you're like, what is going on?
being like, you need to believe her.
They didn't even track that email down.
Those were things that I was confused about. But then at the end, when they were like, "Oh yeah, they could have just pinged," there was something where like if they would have like pinged
the
her
email they
phone,
would have.
that she would have not been assaulted a second time if they
Yes.
would have just looked into all of the things, because the email I think was traceable and maybe a call was traceable.
Yeah,
and they just didn't do it.
Because remember, she did that recording
Yeah,
where she was real calm. And at this point, you're still thinking,
Jeez,
what's up
what
with
did
this?
she do?
But she
But
just
she was all
She's-
drugged
she's
out.
on drugs.
But not only that, but she had been that woman has been through some abuse in her life.
yeah,
And then for just bad police work to put her in that situation, not even trying to find her because they don't believe him.
yeah. It did
And she's
seem.
kidnapped.
It seemed like when you started watching it, you were just like, "Well, this is crazy. This story is insane."
Yes. Because you don't think, because if it happens to you, you want somebody out there looking for you, putting the pieces together.
Yeah.
The only people, luckily, they both had, Aaron and Denise both had on their side the attorneys.
Yeah.
Who had them repeat the story over and over and it never changed.
Yeah.
I was actually that was something where I was like, God, attorneys will believe anything, or they want to believe anything, or whatever whatever it is, because there's people on one side that are like he's definitely guilty, but then they're like these both of them are not guilty, and I even remember I was like just like, oh, this guy bought the story too, but he was right all along.
Yes.
That story's wild. Guys in wetsuits.
Yeah.
Like
and the drugs and the
girlfriend
blanket thing.
Oh, because he was like he and his girlfriend Denise, is that her name?
Yeah.
They were like in a fight, and like he was sort of like interested in his ex a little bit.
He was
so it was
up
like,
front with everything,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, but I think most people would have reached the same conclusion that those cops did, was that this guy did it. However,
'Cause
it's
it's
their
usually-
job to explore all these other things.
Thank you.
It's their job to go through the procedure, ping the phone, whatever that whole loophole that was left. Like, they've got to do that. If one guy is going to stand in there and just lean on this guy, fine. I think that's probably what kind of happens. But meanwhile, you got to get other people out there chasing down even the crazy stuff, because who knows?
It's maddening that weren't for that detective, this would still probably be unsolved.
if it weren't for the other woman.
There'd be nothing. Well, there'd been another. I guarantee you, this guy wasn't stopping there.
Right.
So
Yeah.
then they would be like,
Yeah, because he didn't.
and he was
Remember, he kept going.
in that same area. He was that creeper that they were. Remember they.
Well, he broke into the
Oh, yeah,
house
like
where
the-
the mom and dad were there,
the
and he
mayor
tried to
town.
abduct the daughter. And you're like, oh my God, what is he doing?
that was insane. Thank God that dad fought him off.
Yes.
That is insane.
But the one blonde hair.
Yeah, the one.
On the goggles.
Can you imagine being her that day that she's at the computer and starts putting all those things together? She's looking forever because they just found all this suspicious stuff, and the woman who had the story that no one believed her either, and then she has that breakthrough where she's like, oh my God, the painted goggles, the blonde hair.
All these stories are the
Yeah.
same. I
Shit.
just got to find the person that belongs to this.
And then she found it. And this woman that at that point, if you were to Google it, if you were looking into that story, it would be like, gone girl, look what she did.
Right, what a dummy.
And what a couple of jerks. The guy who did the press
Conference.
and then his boss who
Made him do it.
said, let's burn this chick down.
Yeah.
How horrible do they have to be?
And
I mean,
didn't the
horrible
police get the
people.
case file, or not the police? Didn't the lawyers at the end, did they say that the lawyers got that case file and looked to see what kind of evidence they had, but they had done nothing?
Yeah. It was horrendous.
Oh yeah, they were just like, yeah, this is
guy
the
did it.
guy did it.
Yeah. So they had done no work at all.
Man, it's terrifying that if you're in that situation, you just think like, oh, things are gonna. And when she needed to go get that SWAC kit or something. Done,
Oh, yeah.
and they're like, we're not doing it unless she talks to us. It's like, holy
They
smokes.
treated her like she was a criminal.
like she was a criminal.
And no consequences for those people.
They're
Yeah,
still
they're
work.
dealing with it now. Vallejo.
Oh,
that
well, they-
people are
you think?
attacking that Vallejo Police Department. I just saw that they disabled their Yelp page. There's a change.org
Their Yelp page. Way to go.
petition to have that Mustard resign. It's got 2,700 signatures, and people are just attacking that police department.
Are they
They should.
saying anything? Are they making any comment?
Not in this story. Let's see when this is from. This is from the New York Post.
I mean, listen, if we were there
This
in
was
that town
yesterday.
doing a radio show and you're hearing all these things, you're thinking probably what they are thinking. You're looking at the surface because that's the only information they're giving you because they've done no work.
Right, man. Yeah, that's there should be consequences for things like this. If you find out, I mean, listen, it's a tough job, but it looks like they weren't even trying.
This guy was real proud of himself doing the interrogation of the.
Oh, he's like, I always get the truth.
Yeah.
I
make a
put puzzles
puzzle.
together.
Yeah.
I put puzzles.
Puzzle maker.
That's
And I
the thing.
first thought, I was like, Afton, her and this guy, they're in cahoots.
Yeah, so confident about their
Yeah,
ability to
about their
solve
puzzle
things.
making.
Cocky. But that's what's scary is like, it's like these are just the guys with the job. There's some people that are amazing at that job.
Yes, like the woman that.
Like that woman.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just live in the town where you've got the worst version of that sort of detective, you're just toast.
Yeah, because it all starts up top, and they're just hiring.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to hire people like them.
Yep.
That are terrible as well.
Bad culture.
Oh, it's unbelievable that happened.
The whole thing. I remember seeing the documentary American Nightmare, and I'm like, all right, that's a bit of a dramatic name for these types of things, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it really is.
It's just,
No, I
you're just
can't-
like, there's no way.
I can't. I wonder what their family thought. Like once it's established that they both have the same story, but nobody believes them, is their family believing them?
I was thinking the same thing. Because when that gross cop was like, sometimes like people that have been like assaulted in the past
Oh
will try to
my
relive
gosh.
and the mom was just
The
like,
excitement.
what? Like, what are you talking about? And like maybe that casts some doubt for even that mom.
Who says that?
Yeah, it was terrible.
He should never deal with any kind of assault
No.
case
No,
ever.
These victims. Ugh. Did you know they wrote a book?
Yeah, I did.
The two of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got emotional at the end when you're like, they're together. Like,
I
they-
couldn't believe they
they've been
were
through all
together.
this and they're together.
Yeah.
And they got kids.
And they've got a kid.
And they're
And they're
happy.
going to have another kid. And then in the end, you're like, oh, these are good people. Like,
Yeah.
this is a good guy.
That went through some.
Yeah,
They're
horrible
both
stuff.
really good people.
Yeah.
She might be one of the stronger people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like just I know you have to put your emotions aside, but even reliving it, how calm she was, because wouldn't it make you crazy and you'd be very emotional if you're retelling the story? But she was just so calm
Well,
during the whole thing.
Just the fact that this guy told her, like, if you tell anybody, I'm going to murder your family. And he obviously knew where she lived, dropped her off at her home.
I would still want answers about that ex-girlfriend. How's nobody talking to this guy?
Which
Yeah.
the detective guy or the FBI guy?
No,
the
guy,
criminal.
the criminal.
I am-
well, and he was so free with all the information. I mean,
Yeah.
while they were still trying to solve the case, he's like, actually, this is what they probably use, and this is what they probably. And you feel like if you just ask him, like, why were you after the girlfriend? He would say it.
Yeah, what was that about?
I don't know. There's no. I'm looking at a couple updated
And where is she?
stories.
Is she still with
FBI guy? I
Yeah.
doubt it.
There's no.
She seems like trouble.
Yeah. Let's make her
She's the bad guy.
She's like, what did I do?
Yeah, it is. There were a few things that were like loose ends that they didn't tie up. Because surely they've asked the guy who's in jail,
Yeah, he's in jail.
just like, why were you after Andrea?
they need
Yes.
to send Agent Starling in there to figure it out.
Clarice?
I need to know his name, Dr. Lecter.
She could crack him.
One other thing I wanted to bring up before we wrap this up. What about the bag she had when he let her off? When she got out of the car?
Something I read said it was his car. Maybe it was something that was in his car. Since she was taken in his car, maybe it was something from his car.
Oh, it was got it.
A gym bag.
It's weird though, right?
It is weird, yeah.
Well, they took his car and then they got into
Another
the
car.
white,
They were in
the
the
white
Mustang.
Mustang.
Which was stolen, right?
It sounds like he
Oh,
wasn't.
really?
He wasn't smart about a bunch of those things.
I think he was just banking on. He just would get back to that cabin out in the woods, and it's like, well, once we're out here, no one will ever find us.
Right.
And so he just did all of his stuff there.
But man, leaving a phone behind. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, and asking for ransom too. Like, it
Yeah, the
wasn't-
ransom thing. Did
It
he-
wasn't a kidnapping. Like for ransom, he wanted to do stuff.
And
like
he
the
wanted
ransom
her,
part was
and
pointless.
He wanted her to like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Because-
kind of important. Like he had to.
Yeah,
'cause
think about the ones that
remember
he
didn't
walked
rape
away
before
from.
because it's like it didn't quite work.
He wanted her to like him.
Like I'm sorry, I have to do this. The bad guys outside are making me.
yes.
Ugh.
What a weird.
Hey, but what a great documentary. Am I right,
So
guys?
you are right.
So many twists.
They did a great job. It wasn't too long. 3 episodes was perfect. You were believing different things in all 3, and they tied it up with a nice little bow in the end. Yeah, sure, we have some questions, but American Nightmare 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
But yeah,
You've been left
I
over.
think you've been left over.
Yeah, you've been left over.
Hurt in a car accident? Injured on the job? At Cantor Injury Law, we know how overwhelming it can feel. With over 100 years of combined local legal experience and over $500 million won, we fight to get you the justice you deserve.
You can count on Cantor Injury Law to stand by your side. You pay nothing out of pocket. We only win when you win.
When you're injured, count on Cantor. Cantor Injury Law, 314-628-9999, or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
You can count on Cantor.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.